So in today's webinar, what we are going to see is, I'm going to just give you an overview of what MapleMBAC is and why we have MapleMBAC. And then I'm going to also give you an introduction on the interface control document. Many of you would be already familiar with this, but I'm just going to give you a very short brief of what the document is, what information is going to be inside this interface control document, and why this is important. And then we are going to see some actual examples where I'm going to show you different views that's able to display the different interfaces and its properties in MapleMBAC. And then I'm going to also give you the instructions on how you can evaluate MapleMBAC if you like what you see with the interface control document, or if you have been familiar with our previous webinars, you would be able to see the different use cases. And if you're interested, I'm going to just give you like few steps that you need to follow to start your evaluation. So now, to give you an overview of what MapleMBAC is, so if you have been following the model-based system engineering process in your organization, or if you're looking to move from a document-centric to a model-centric approach, we all know that we are going to have these experts in this domain, the system engineers who are familiar with the different modeling tool and the modeling language. They bring in all these information together, and they create this ecosystem where your models are all stored in a centralized repository. So this is what we call that as the authoritative source of truth. So this information contains the structures, the behavior, the requirements, and the constraints as parameters of the system model we are going to develop. All this is going to be stored in a centralized repository. So we always have the updated information, and this information is shared across the organization. But the problem here is when you have to involve the different stakeholders, like say they could be the safety engineers, requirements engineer, the project managers, etc. How do they collaborate to the system model? So the common approach that's being followed to do this is information of the system model is exported in terms of, say, documents or kind of like spreadsheets, which is given to the stakeholders, which is now detached from the centralized model. So it's possible that they are not always given the most recent information or the most updated one. And this project stakeholders or the subject matter experts who has to contribute to the system model, work on with the information that they have. They send this information to the system engineers, not to the model directly, but to the system engineers. And the system engineer update the system model based on this input. And this has been a problem, or this is where you see the friction, that there is a miscommunication, what is being interpreted by the system engineer and the subject matter expert is different. And it's possible that they have been working on an older version of the information extracted from the system model, etc. So this is kind of like a time-consuming process, and it slowly creeps in, and there is a system failure because of these miscommunications. So what MapleMBAC offers is giving a direct access to the project stakeholders, and the system engineer still has control on what information is displayed from the system model to these project stakeholders. And now, based on their own expertise, the subject matter experts can interact with the system model through a very familiar interface, which is Microsoft Excel. So MapleMBAC provides Excel interface for the project stakeholders to interact with the system model. And the system model could be from different tools, from different modeling languages. In today's webinar, we are going to specifically see SysML, and with a model that I've developed using Cameo Systems Modeler. So this is just to give you an idea of what MapleMBAC is. If to know more on this, you can go to our previous webinars, either by going to maplesoft.com searching for Maple MBSE, or you can directly go to maplembac.com, in which you will be able to see the list of previous webinar where we have explained the complete working and the collaborative nature of Maple MBSE. And so once all this is being established, the project stakeholders can now interact with the system model directly. It's very easy to now perform design reviews on the information that has been shared with the system engineer, the subject matter experts to the centralized model. The system engineers now can create task-specific views to perform certain kind of analysis, like say the failure modes or the compliance test, trade studies, etc. And this information is bidirectional, that any changes that's done to the system model, it's easily reflected to the project stakeholders, that they are always interacting with the most recent information, and the vice versa. When the project stakeholders make a decision, save their changes to the system model, the system engineer now can access the same model using the modeling tool like Cameo, Rhapsody, or Magic Draw, etc. So what this facilitates is it engages the system engineering process across the organization. So it's very easy to now involve the different domain engineers to interact with the system model. And since the interface is Excel, it's very easy for them to understand what is going on and provide their input. And next, the other advantage here is it reduces cost and error because of these misinterpretations and miscommunication between the system engineers and the SMEs. And the backend is completely customizable. So what we mean here is the views that you're going to see within Maple MBSE, or the views that you have actually seen in previous webinar or going to see in this webinar, they are completely customizable, and they could be made to fit to your different project needs and your organizational rules for modeling. So the backend is completely customizable for you to fit to your own specific needs. So now, moving on to the interface control document. So what is an interface control document is, it contains all the details of the interfaces to a system, or between the system, or between its subsystem. So in an interface control document, you're also going to see all the inputs and outputs that a system has, or the subsystem for that system has. So you'll be able to find the details of all of its inputs and outputs, and what flows through this input, or what is being processed between this input and output. And then these interfaces, or what flowing through this in and out of the system, could be described in terms of like messages, commands, if it's a human machine interface, if it's a mechanical interface, etc. So these are the information that is going to be in an interface control document. So now, if the question is, why do we need to create an interface document? In addition to the advantages that's being described here, like how you can define the interfaces and how to define how different subsystem interacts, it's very easy to identify the system boundary now. So you can kind of define a scope, and you can model your system now. So, and also it's very easy to identify the dependencies from between the subsystems, or from the system you're modeling to the external system. So, that's a very main advantage. The second one is to identify the compatibility between different systems. Say if you're take an example of an commercial aircraft. A commercial aircraft is being designed, it's being manufactured in different places. Like each of the parts are being done across different geographical locations, and then they are all going to be together integrated to an aircraft. So in this case, when you have an interface control document, you are not given any surprises when you do the integration. Everyone is given a standard document that the system or the subsystem that you're going to define is going to interact in terms of inputs and output to a different system. So it's very easy to identify and maintain the compatibility between the subsystems and subsystem. The second one, the final advantage that I mentioned here is to identify the problems with the interface. So a common term that all of us would have heard is a system is vulnerable at the interfaces, and most of the failure of the system occurs at the interface. So that's why creating an interface control document, it's very easy to identify the problem. So the problems with the interfaces we identify early in the project, it's easy to fix it, and we can reduce the cost of fixing it when it's more on the later side of the project. And so when we mention this interface control document, it's not necessary that it should always be a text document that's going to have textual explanation with different kinds of tables, etc. So interface control document, it's going to only display different kinds of interfaces between systems and subsystems. So what we could offer, or what MapleMBSE can add value in this place, is you can create different interface templates that could be customized and which is relevant to the end user. For example, say there are say in a spacecraft model. So in a spacecraft model, you're going to have the ground control system or the ground control unit, and then satellite communication, etc. So in this case, there could be different experts who's familiar with the ground control system. There is an expert who's familiar with the avionics part of it, and a different expert who's familiar with the satellite part of it. So now when you need these experts to communicate together, and you're modeling kind of all of this in a single project, but using MapleMBSE, you can restrict the scope. So for the ground control unit, I can specifically restrict the scope of what kind of interfaces or what part of this model that I'm exposing to the user, and he'll be able to only view, edit, and kind of manipulate or review only the views that I've exposed to him. So these could be easily customized using MapleMBSE. And then these interfaces or these information from the SysML model, they can be displayed as tables and matrices for the end user to interact with the SysML model. And the other advantage of using MapleMBSE is it's going to hide the complexity of the modeling language. So you're going to see in the example that I'm going to work with MapleMBSE on using just tables and matrices. You're going to see how these interaction that I make only with Excel is going to be transformed as SysML model elements, or how the SysML model element that's already in the model is being displayed in tables and matrices using MapleMBSE. So now for the example model, I just have two simple examples. One is a tablet system. The other one is obstacle avoiding robot. So I have chosen these two because to make to keep the views very simple, but to convey the idea what the interface or what kind of different views that we can generate using MapleMBSE. So here, it's like you see, it's a very simple model. I have a tablet with certain parts. We are going to see the different parts of the tablet system. What are the different ports that it has? And for example, if the port as a kind, like if it's a proxy port, etc., those information is going to be displayed. And if it has kind of like a type of interface that's displayed within the SysML model, you're again going to see all those information in tables in Excel. And the same kind of information is also going to be displayed for the obstacle avoiding robot. So already in the SysML model, I have defined the internal block diagram. I have made all those connectors. So I'm going to display in MapleMBSE certain worksheets that are going to kind of like where I need just the review, or where I want the SMEs to review it, and certain part of the worksheets and where I want the SMEs to add certain information and save it to the model. So now I'm going to launch MapleMBSE. So here I just clicked on a Maple Basic configuration file. So what a configuration file is, it is nothing but just a text file which has queries to the model element. So here I would have defined what kind of uh, model I'm going to work with. For example, like if it's a SysML model, or based on which tool that I'm going to work with. And then I'm also going to define within my project, where is the scope or which part of the model that I want to expose in Excel, and how or what information of those model elements that I'm going to extract and display it is in table. So these information is in the configuration file. And like I mentioned before, this configuration file is completely customizable, so it can fit your different projects. If you have your own profile that has been developed on addition to the SysML profile, all those could be integrated with, and these different views can be made using the configuration file. So when I launch Maple MBSE, I'm going to connect to the Teamwork Cloud server, and this is the login that I'm going to get. So here you can see the server that I'm going to connect with, the username and password. So this username and password is managed by the Teamwork Cloud. I'm just providing the credentials that has been created. So I'm going to work with the Teamwork Cloud SysML model. I have the option to select the different branches. I'm going to select the trunk. Once I click on OK, MapleMBSE is going to connect to the server. Based on the configuration file that I defined, it's going to pick up those information and display it to me in Excel. So here in Cameo, I'm just showing you the model that's available in the server. So here, this is for the obstacle avoiding robot. You can see the internal block diagram that I've already defined, then the different interfaces that I have created for it. So here is my context. So this is the diagram that you saw in the presentation. And same way for the tablet, here I have the different interfaces that I have created. So this is the interface blocks, which I'm going to type it to different ports that I'm going to assign for the components. So here I have my components for the tablet system. So here I have the tablet, and then here is the different interfaces that I have defined for the tablet, like the different connectors, what are the ports, and what are the different ports it has been typed by. So this is a model that's created using SysML, and it's residing in my Teamwork Cloud server. So here in MapleMBSE, once I have opened, I just have an introduction sheet here for the end user to be familiar or to understand what information is being displayed in each of the worksheets. So I have 6 different worksheets here, and just to show a description that, for example, the interface table, it's a review worksheet. So what I mean by review worksheet here is I don't want any input from the user, but kind of just the review and add certain comments to that worksheet. So this worksheet is going to list the components and ports for my tablet model, specifically the interface classes. So it's going to list all the interfaces that I'm going to be using in the tablet interface worksheet. And next is my component interaction table. So here, this is the worksheet that I've defined for the obstacle avoiding robot, which is going to have the similar information like the interface that I've defined for the tablet. And the next worksheet is a matrix. In the matrix, I'm displaying the requirements, the components, in order for me to show a traceability between the interface requirement and the components we create. And the next one is the flow specification worksheet. This is to define what are the different kinds of information like command, or power, etc., that can flow between my ports. And the final worksheet is again another table which is kind of connecting the flow specification that I've defined with the interfaces. So here, this is the table for the tablet system. As you can see, I'm again making sure that the user knows that this is a review only worksheet and he will not be able to make any changes here. Here you can see the different components, their different ports, the kind of the port that have been assigned for this interfaces. Here is a list of, again, the ports, but in this case, the port kind is proxy. Here it's a full port, if the port is conjugated, etc. And if the port has been assigned to a type, which is kind of like the interface type that I'm going to display next. So here it kind of could be overwhelming for the end user that they are again seeing kind of like the elements that's mentioning the SysML part, like the interface ports, interface kind, conjugate, etc. But these are just headers that I could change, saying like here in I could make a decision here saying that I don't want to display the port kind. I'll hide this from the end user. I'll just tell him that there will be components. These are the interfaces through which the components are going to interact with, and what kind of interaction it's going to be. Like, for example, if the interface is for a Bluetooth or if it's a Wi-Fi camera, etc. So in the next worksheet, here I'm just listing all the different interfaces that I have created, like the different types of interfaces. So, and the second column here displays the description for the interface here, like kind of like the definition and its description. Example, say if it's for the USB interface, and I want to add a description saying that the USB interface should be like type C. So something kind of like a comment or a description for that interface. The user would be also able to add new interfaces here, add a description, save it to the model. And here, this worksheet is displaying the list of requirements, specifically the interface requirements. And here you're seeing the tablet system and the different interfaces. So by interfaces, again, I'm meaning just the ports. And say example, for the tablet system, I want to create something for the, say the HDMI. So I'm saying that for the tablet system is going to have a HDMI interface, and this HDMI interface will satisfy my specification for having a HDMI port. So this X here means that I kind of met the requirement. Again, here I'm not giving the end user in any kind of complexity of deciding what kind of dependency that it's going to give create in the SysML model. So all these decision has been made in the configuration file. All the information that is needed from the end user is in case if he has to create new component with interface, he's going to do it here and assign X saying that this specific interface is meeting this interface requirement. So here, this is the worksheet that's showing or exposing the obstacle avoiding robot. As you can see that each of these worksheets are kind of like different views into the model that we see in Cameo. So each worksheet is configurable, and what information that I want from the model is also configurable, and this is what is being displayed here. For example, again, for the obstacle avoiding robot, you have the different components, we have the different ports, same information as conjugate, and in case if I want to define a direction for it, I can specify it here. So here you can see the difference between the interface table and this table here that's kind of displaying the same information is I'm not making any complexity here of defining different kind of ports. I have made sure that, or I made a decision on the configuration file that whatever is being entered here would be a flow port, and that's all here. But here, I'm just exposing, or I just wanted to show that it's possible to expose different kind of ports to manipulate with them, make changes, and save it back to the model. So for example, say I want to change the batteries positive as direction to be out and this to be in. So this could be, or this is some information that's very easy for the subject matter experts to understand, manipulate, create these different information for interfaces. Uh, Now, in the next worksheet, this is the flow specification worksheet. I have the flow specification that defines like a sound voltage. Say, if I want to create like a new specification, I just have to enter some name here. Say if it's a command. So that's what flow specification that I'm mentioning here. Again, you could see that flow specification or flow property or something that's related to SysML, but they are just headers. I could change all these and give the SMEs who are not familiar with SysML much more simpler terms like just as a interface specification, what are the interface properties that the interface specification is going to own. And now if I go on to the next worksheet, here I'm listing all the different ports that's available for my obstacle avoiding robot. So I have the different ports. What are the kind of interaction exchanges that's happening here? So by interaction exchange, I'm meaning nothing but the kind of properties that this port has, and I can give a flow property for it and assign a direction for it. Say for example, the microcontroller USB port, uh, it's going to receive some command and the direction says in. So as you can see, it's very simple to change the information, create new information for the ports. So this command here, it depends on the flow specification table. So I just use a Excel's data validation that's going to only pick up information that's available in the flow specification table. So if I add something that's not in the table, it, as you can see, the information is not accepted. And here, all the ports direction, as you can see, it's very easy to change these information as a subject matter experts in the systems interface. They would know what will flow in, what will flow out, what are the different interfaces that has to be created for the system, what should be the property. So as you can see, without exposing anything from a SysML model, I can easily create these views, extract certain information or the much needed information from the end users who are not familiar with the SysML. They just interact uh, with the system model through Excel. So they just interact with it, kind of having in their mind that they are just working on Excel, creating something with a tool that's very familiar to them. The now all these changes that we did, whatever updates that we made here, they are still local to the user system until they save it back to the model. So I'm going to save it now back to the model. To do that, I double click on the save button. I'm going to get a commit to Teamwork Cloud dialog box. So I'm going to say something like edited interface. And once I click OK, you can see my changes are now being committed to the server. If I go back to Cameo, you can see that I'm using the Teamwork Cloud SysML model, working with the trunk branch, but my revision is still 4. But here, if you check in MapleMBSE, you can see that because of the new commit, we have moved to the most latest revision. So for me to get the latest changes, I'm going to update my project here. So once I update my project, I'm going to go to the latest revision, and we are going to see the most recent changes that we made from MapleMBSE. Okay, so here I will have my changes. The first change that we made is we added a description for the interface in USB. So I'm going to find that interface here. So here you can see that for the interface block called as interface underscore USB, if I go on to the documentation, I've kind of added the information or the description as a comment. So that is why you are seeing it here. The USB interface should be type C. So as you can see, the changes easily reflected here. Same way, we also added a new port for the tablet system and also created a relation between the interface requirement. So if I again go back to the model for and find the tablet system, you'll be able to see the new port we created. So here is the tablet system. I'm finding the specification. If we go to the ports, here you can see the HDMI interface that we added with MapleMBSE. So since we did not add any type, but added only the HDMI interface, you are seeing it here. And if I open the specification for this, you're going to see that we have created it with a dependency that says it satisfies the interface with the interface requirement that we should be, or the interface is capable of using a HDMI cable. So as you can see that we created an interface for a component, made sure that this interface is having a traceability with the satisfy relation, which is a custom profile. So based on a custom profile, I created the satisfy relation there, and we saw those information also here. So now what I'm going to do is, we saw like a very small example that's showing a workflow, but I also have a template that works with the 30-meter telescope. If you're familiar with the 30-meter telescope, you know that this is something that's available publicly. You will be able to download the model from GitHub and OpenMBE. So this is a model that has kind of like thousands of elements that's available in uh, in the SysML model. So here, I'm going to open this model here in MapleMBSE. So I'm restarting it. I have defined a separate template for it called TMT interface. So similarly here, I'm going to log in with my credential, select the 30-meter telescope model. And once I click OK, we are going to get the latest information. So here I'm going to open the model again here in Cameo. As you can see, the project has a lot of packages, has thousands of elements. And specifically what I'm going to show you in MapleMBSE is this part. So APS conceptual. So here you can see that it's very hard for me to even visualize all the connections that's going between the ports and the different subcomponents of the conceptual system. As you can see, like the more complex the system is, the complex even viewing the model becomes. Like it's very hard to visualize larger model, track where the connectors are connecting between the different subsystems or even between the subsystems. So for me to even follow a connector, it's very hard and to see how each port is being connected with the other subsystem. But when I expose these information as tables and matrices, and again, this is being done in Excel, it's very easy now for me to use most of the Excel functionalities like data filtering, data validations, macros to restrict the scope, find the information that's much relevant to me, and to visualize the whole information here. So here I'm trying to get the telescope model as you were seeing here, since the model is fairly larger and it has thousands of elements, it's going to take me few more seconds than working with a normal project. So once I open the telescope model here in MapleMBC and we get the scope that I have defined to be exposed to me here in Excel, we are going to see the different components, their ports, what are their interactions, etc. Again, so here in the view that I'm exposing here, I'm not going to show you completely all the interfaces that's available in the telescope model. I have just chosen few of the uh, components or few of the views that we are going to expose from the telescope model. So here, this is a view that, as you can see on the top, I'm connected to the 30-meter telescope model. We are seeing the list of components, what are the different ports. The same information is again being displayed here on the rows and the columns. So I have the component, I have the ports, and the X in the intersection between the row and column, it defines that there is a connector that's available, or a connector is connecting these two ports. For example, the procedure executive and analysis software, so this which is being defined as component in the model, using the port PAS M1CS out, there is a connector that's connecting to the APS operational black box specification. So similarly, you can see that it's very easy for me to expose these information as a matrix. Kind of, we could generate N2 matrix out of it, which is very useful to expose the interfaces between components. So now, again, since we are in Excel, I could use data filter to specifically filter between some of the components that I need. Say, for example, I'm just using a normal filter here, and I want to see information of the, say, the same procedure executive and analysis software. So here you can see that once I filter it out, I'm displaying all the ports of that specific component and their interfaces that's connecting to different components of the APS conceptual. Now, this view here is exposing the same information, but the only difference is in the matrix view, we were exposing all the components of the APS conceptual, even if it has a connector or if it does not have a connector. And if it has a connector, it's going to be displayed with X at the intersection. But this view is the same information, but here you're only going to see the connector that's available between the between the ports. For example, the acquisition pointing and the tracking assembly as a port that connects to the APT loop port called as APT L2 APT out. So as you can see, again, like I mentioned, even with the matrix, I could easily filter this out using a filter, then specifically searching for a component that's of interest to me. For example, say I want to get the APT loop, beams, splitter stage, etc. So here you can see that these are the only connector that exists between these three components that I have filtered out. So as you can see, again, it's easy also to visualize a larger model, and the focus again is the subject matter experts, experts who are not familiar with the SysML tool and the modeling language. It's very easy for them to now review it in tables, as you see here, make changes to these tables and then save it back to the model. So here, this is kind of exposing the view of the SCC, which is the segment controller and cable. It's a component of the telescope model, and the association blocks that has been created, the flow properties, what type it can have, and the direction. Similarly, the SCC, again, specifically going into this part of the model, I'm exposing only the interface blocks, what are the different properties that has been defined for this interface block, the value type for these properties, what is the direction, where this property is being used by. So the reference property says that the M1CS LAN output is being used or is being referred by a node output port, and this is the block to which this port is being owned by. And if I go back to the model, you can see that yes, it's very hard for me to find the SC, the component should be between somewhere in this packages. So as you can see that there are a lot of information that goes into the model, different packages. It's very hard even for someone who knows to navigate to the model to find specific information or find specific part of the model. But once this is being defined as a template to end user, they can easily launch Maple MBSE. They can connect to the project, work with what is being exposed to them. So that's what differentiate between or the value that we provide for the end users to interact with the SysML model. So again, for you to interact with this model, you'll be able to download this model if you search for OpenMBE in GitHub. This model is available to download, and you have different information again of the model, like a cookbook on that defines how this model was created, developed, etc. So then, say if you're interested in evaluating Maple MBSE, you can get free license and training and support for you to get wrapped up and start your evaluation with your own pilot project. So if you're interested, please send us an email at info@maplesoft.com that you want to start a Maple MBSE evaluation. So now, to just give you a summary of what we saw in today's webinar, we saw that Maple MBSE is an excellent interface for the system models. We have support for SysML language, which is through Cameo, Magic Draw, and also we support Rhapsody. In addition to SysML, we also support Arcadia methodology and used by Capella tool. Then we saw that what are the different interface views that you can create with Maple MBSE, and we also saw that it could be customized to fit different projects, and we saw that how as a SME, someone who is not familiar with SysML can easily interact with the model. And the last point again reinforced that what Maple MBSE does is it hides the modeling complexity for the SMEs.